Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Well-Appointed Mystic. Today, I'm going to talk about my favorite deck pairings. So pairing a tarot deck with an oracle deck. And I picked sort of my top 5 tarot oracle combos. Some of them have more than one deck. So like a tarot deck, and I have 2 or 3 options for oracle, but hopefully this will go fairly quickly. You can see I have a big pile here, let's see, we will start with the most obvious. So we'll push these other ones out of the way, and one just went over the side. Hold please. Let's start with a combination that is beloved all over the internet and the tarot community, and that is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn with the Woodland Wardens Oracle. So I have the mini sort of traveler size version of Oak, Ash, and Thorn, so it's quite tiny in comparison with the Woodland Wardens, which isn't a huge deck, and I trimmed it to make it even smaller, but these hang out very well together. I think the combination of the matching borders, they're all animal based. Aesthetically, the art style is very comparable. This is definitely a case where even the backs of the cards look really nice together. They're quite lovely. But yeah, so let's see, we'll put these here. But I definitely, this particularly in the fall and in the winter, these 2 decks together for me really make me happy. Why are these all upside down? Oh, maybe I just stuck the last 2 in. I have not edged either of these decks, but since they both have white edges, I think it's probably okay. But I mean, look at all the characters. And I mean, I think you could definitely combine these decks in different ways. This is just the one that feels most harmonious to me. It just has the same kind of energy. While this is a little bit more botanical and this is a little bit more storybook feel, I still think that they touch the same place in my heart when I put these together. And clearly I'm not the only person who's thought that. I know that the artist Jessica Rue, who did Woodland Wardens, is working on a tarot deck that might pair beautifully with any of these, or might work great with Thistledown or something. But I just love her botanical illustrations and her animal illustrations. I'm hoping that her tarot deck, which has figures in it, will be as lovely. And then of course the art by Adam Ohlers for Oak, Ash, and Thorn is an absolute delight. Why I've never purchased the dragon deck, I don't know. Is that Ember, Ash and Ember? I'm not a big dragon fan, so like it's just not something that like this. The fact that the squirrels are in the cups or the pentacle suit in Oak, Ash, and Thorn, like that's my animal. Like, I don't know what that says about me, that it's not, I'm not in love with dragons or some mythical creature. It's basically tree rats as my spirit animal. But that's, you know, you kind of have to, that's how I roll. Also, the fact that like the swords have lots of crows and there's the bunnies. I mean, like, I'm very much a neighborhood animals kind of girl. So anyway, this is one of my favorite combos, and I know that I'm not alone. Lots of people love these 2 decks together. I do recommend, since Woodland Wardens is a mass market deck and easy to come by, if you have not tried it, I do recommend it. It is a beautiful deck. The guidebook is lovely. And then Oak, Ash, and Thorn. I do like this deck so much I might consider getting a full-sized edition, but this little mini deck is small enough that I can shuffle it, so, you know, don't look a gift horse, as they say. So my second and the longer I do videos, the more people will recognize this little pink case from Moonlit Fae, which contains my favorite deck in the whole world, which is the Tarot de Carlotides or Carlotides. And I love pairing it with the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle. And I didn't expect to love this as much as I do, but the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle takes the runes and associates them with animals. And while there are some animals in Carlotides, there are not a ton. So I feel like it's a nice balance. The art styles are a little different, but for whatever reason, these hum for me. And so I do use them together. But the animals really helped me to better understand the runes, because I get the association with the different animals. So this is just a combination I love. They're both small decks. The Carlotides is a smaller than usual tarot deck, and the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle is basically playing card size. The cardstock is not great. It's a little like stiff paper. It's a little hard to shuffle, and mine has bowed a little bit. But it's a small enough deck, and there's not a ton of cards because it is a rune oracle. So I think there's only like 26 cards, 24. So it is, I just think this is a great combo. It definitely, it gets used a lot because it's travel friendly for me. And I get such a quick read from Carlotides that though I do need to look up some of the runes in the little guidebook. The little guidebook is so tiny, and like this little box that it comes in is so little that like this and this, like I can easily throw into a weekender bag or my backpack or whatever and take those with me, and I feel good about it. I purchased the indie version of this, which did not include the booklet. So honestly, I wouldn't make a point of trying to find the indie version of the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle, because this guidebook is really helps and is a lot easier to work with than what was available with the indie, which was like basically an 8.5 by 11 printout, or like a little poster kind of a thing, which was not at all convenient. You know, this fits in the box, and just becomes like a really great, I mean, look how cool that is. Anyway, so this is one of my favorite pairings, and I use it a lot for like the Carlotides is very much, for me, for whatever reason, a bit of a hug deck. It often makes me laugh because it'll just kind of poke me right where I need it to be poked. I mean, this Four of Swords being the Princess and the Pea kind of a vibe is like, that makes me laugh. Like, you need to lay down and you need to stop being such a baby about it, you know, like just take a nap. So these cards just, they make me really happy. There is a little bit of side questing that has to happen for me because I get curious about some of these characters that are included, but I've had so much fun doing that research that for me, it's more, I can read the cards without that information, but I kind of have fun doing more research because I don't know a lot about like Eastern European mythology and culture, or, you know, West African or that kind of thing. So, and there's even some like sort of Mayan, Mexican sort of vibe stuff too. So anyway, this is one of my favorite combos. Both of these are readily available commercial decks, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle. I never thought I'd be someone who was into runes. I don't have a Swedish or Norwegian or Scandinavian background, but I have really enjoyed these, and combining them with the sort of the animal energy like really has helped me understand them better and kind of feel that connection with them. So that is my second pairing. I am going to, okay, we'll do this one, which is another combo that one I was not expecting. This is another Moonlit Fae bag. This is the Tarot of Mystical Moments, which is also one of my favorite decks. You might notice this simply because the decks that are my favorite, I've made more of an effort to put together deck pairings. Decks that I don't use as much or are not as familiar with, I haven't done as many pairings with. I'll kind of play around with pairs. But these I feel like I have some experience with. I've done some work with them, and therefore feel fairly confident that this is a pretty good combo. What I found interesting about this combination with Sacred Destiny and the Tarot of Mystical Moments is that I thought they would be too busy because these are very sort of, there's a lot going on in the illustrations. And I was worried that these more photographic either wouldn't vibe or would also be so busy that it was just like, there was too much to look at. But in the end, it has turned out to be just the right balance for me because these are a little bit sharper, crisper images. They make the mystical moments feel a little bit more kind of storybook feel. But yeah, so this is a combo I was not expecting. I honestly never expected to like the Sacred Destiny Oracle at all, but the guidebook is really good. This is another deck that Mystical Moments that just has worked for me. It was sort of the first deck that I ever did like a deck deep dive and kind of, you know, did a little notebook and wrote all of my information. So yeah, I mean, like the combination of the moons, there's just, I find that these just really work well together. And I don't always do a like 2 tarot cards and an oracle. Sometimes I just pull one of each. And I feel like that gives me a really nice vibe. I mean, come on, the 5 of Swords and Trust, 3 of Cups, like it's just, sometimes this deck just does not mess around and, you know, creates really good messages. And I know that some people feel that the Sacred Destiny can be a little soft or a little like too much positivity, but I find that I tend to be pretty tender and kind of need that softness, especially if you get a hard card like the 7 of Swords, having a message like embracing to just soften a little bit really makes a difference. This is, for me, this is one of my favorite 4 of Wands, and I don't know why. It just is, I love that the birds are bigger than the people, and it's just, it's really fun. But I just think these really work well together, and I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't sure if these were going to feel too ginchy. These are so, like the artwork on these is like what I love most, you know, in tarot. Like this was one of the first decks I got and has remained one of my favorites. So, you know, and these are the sort of photo illustration, thank goodness, pre-AI. But yeah, so if you haven't, again, this is a case where both of these decks are mass market, so they're pretty easy to come by. I did trim my Sacred Destiny because the borders were enormous. And I wanted to just like make them at least a little bit smaller. So that really, I think also made a difference. This is going to be probably both decks that might, some people might disagree or just not be keen on these decks. I've always found that the Star Spinner gives me really good readings, and maybe it's, I have a history with comic books and sort of that comic book culture that I've never, like, the artwork works for me. I really like it. The Green Witch, Secret Oracle of the Green Witch, visually I feel pairs really nicely with this and kind of grounds the Star Spinner a little bit, which I feel like is very in the clouds, you know, especially with all this like white line work around the edges, does give it a very ethereal kind of feel. And then the Secret Oracle of the Green Witch has some darker tones, these deeper green colors, but that purple is almost a perfect match. So color-wise, they hang together really well. And my initial reaction to Secret Oracle of the Green Witch was that I thought maybe the figures, wasn't enough diversity in the figures, but after working with the deck, I realized while there might not be as much diversity as I would like, when I combine it with something like Star Spinner, which does have more diversity, apparently I put all the lovers in here, you know, there's all kinds of both ethnic and body type and relationship type diversity. It worked better, I think, and there aren't as many figures in the Secret Oracle of the Green Witch. It's sort of divided into a section that are like herbs and potions and things like that, and another section that are the actual witches. So if you look at the guidebook, there are cards like the Path and the Mystery and the Mortar. So a lot of them are more symbolic, the Cauldron, the Knife, and then there's all these herbs in the back. So there's a few figures, but not enough to really, you know, kind of spoil the deck for me. So I feel like it's a good combo. And I mean, like, you know, just the mirror with these other, with the Star Spinner, which has a lot of sort of fairy tale vibe, I think feels really good. It's just a good, I like it. I think it's a good combo. And I mean, look at how these colors, like, again, some of this is aesthetic, but also because this is so fantastical and it has a much more sort of earthbound feeling, I think it helps to ground these cards that might otherwise feel a little flighty, a little like too much in your head and not enough into reality. I just think it's a good combo. I'm speechless. Like these three cards together, like the Mystery, the Three of Swords, and Judgment. Like, I just think that they kind of hum together, and I just think it's a good combo. Again, this is a case. 3 mass market decks that I think work well together. I can certainly sit here and keep flipping through these if you would like to see a few more. I don't hear a lot of people talk about the Secret Oracle of the Green Witch, and I quite like it. I think it's a very, very pretty deck, and I suspect that it would actually combine well with other decks. This is just the combo that I've put together. I mean, the Two of Coins, the Two of Cups, and Quietness. Come on. You can't deny it. These like to play together. So that's where I stand on this combo. So Star Spinner, Secret Oracle of the Green Witch, which is a name for a deck that I can never remember. I'm just like, it's the Green Witch Oracle, and I know there's like a million things called Green Witch, this or that or the other thing. So a little bit of a stumbling block. Okay, so the last deck pairing that I have is the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, which is the name I can never freaking remember. I apologize. And this is a deck that I have the original version, which had the typo, but I'm willing to overlook that and just keep going. But I have several decks that I think pair really well with this. They just kind of create different voices, for lack of a better word. And the first one I have is the Mushroom Oracle from Broccoli Magazine, which I think because a lot of the images in Tarot of the Witch's Garden have a bit of a fairy tale feel, it's just, I feel like this is a good combo. The mushrooms sort of grounded a little. They all have sort of a foresty sort of vibe, but also there's some playfulness in this whole thing. So it definitely gives it a different tone. Some of these images can be much darker, a little moodier, but you know, 4 of Cups with wood ear, which they say listener, restorative, or gossip. And like this could be a situation where maybe you are feeling under kind of poorly treated. You've either listened to things you shouldn't or have been the subject of gossip, you know, and the burden that you're having to carry as a result. You know, there's just I think they work really well together even without resorting to the guidebook for this. So if you have not played around with these, I think this is a pretty good combo. I'm a big fan of all of Broccoli Magazine's Oracle decks. I actually pulled out the Flower Oracle because I felt like it would also play nicely here, but I did not. Well, specifically, I thought it would go well with the Tarot of Mystical Moments. But the next one I have to go with Tarot of the Witch's Garden is the Thistledown, which is also from the same creators that did the Oak, Ash, and Thorn, so Stephanie Burrows and Adam Ohlers. And this is, again, a case where because these is very woodland feeling natural elements, I thought combining this, which is just giving you a keyword, with the tarot deck would be a good combo, and I think they are very much complements. I just think this is a really good combo, and the colors are very harmonious. You know, this wonderful woodland creatures. I just think if you have not played with it, I do recommend it. I mean, Three of Swords, Grief, Three of Pentacles, come on. This is another case where I feel like these are definitely, you know, talking to each other, finding a really good place. I feel like I might end up using this for one of my monthly deep dive tarot studies because I have not worked with it. I've done a few readings with this combination, but haven't done like a full month of study with this particular combo. I've done a month study with the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, but I think I paired it with a different oracle deck. But I mean, Strength, Shelter, and the Fool. So yeah, I really like this one. I feel like it gives a lot of storytelling. I think this actually would be a really good combo for me for August. It has that not quite fall vibe. I do think, you know, there are some more wintry cards, but to me this has that, you know, the nights are just getting cooler, but it's still hot and humid. So anyway, I like that one. Oh, and I had one more. So with the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, let's give this a shuffle so we're not looking at the same cards over and over and over again. Also, these shuffle great. So good, so good. So my last pairing with Tarot of the Witch's Garden is the fan favorite, the Magical Herb. And again, this is a case where because this is a very sort of nature-based, woodsy-based deck, combining it with this plant energy, and this is one of the easiest plant-based decks that I have in my collection because it does have the keyword, it has like a little subtle image in the background and what the plant is. So if I wanted to do additional research, I could, or I could just use the keyword, you know, Three of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, and balance, finding a balance between family and, you know, going out into the world. I don't know. I just think these hang really nicely together. Again, the colors are very harmonious, so I don't feel like anything is real disruptive. You know, you can pick out those hints of color, the red of her hair and the flowers. You know, and I think that that's one of the benefits of working with a tarot and an oracle is those little reminders, because of things like color or the way things are pointing. You know, I mean, this leaf going this way feels like it's very much pointing towards what's going on in the Seven of Swords, and away from this. So do you know what I mean? So it's like it's creating and helping to create a different story, or catching the eye in a different way. You know, I mean, the cups are here, but there's a lock. Like, just some really, I just think that they work really nicely together. So that is my last pairing, and I realize I kind of, like, I did 5 decks, but more than that in terms of the number of oracles. So what is your favorite deck pairing? Your deck tarot and oracle pairing? I really enjoy making pairings, and I will often sit around and just pair decks and see which ones talk best with one another. But to that end, why not? Let's do one more. I want to see if the Flower Oracle really does balance with the Tarot of Mystical Moments, because I haven't tried that one. I just got the Flower Oracle about a week ago, and so I haven't had time to pair it with anything. But I do think that there's some potential there. And let me know what you think. Maybe if I get it in frame? Sure. So I mean, aesthetically, these are spot on. I mean, look at those roses, like the very similar visual aesthetic. I think in this case, the borders help to sort of create a little visual distance between these. But I mean, like the eyes all covered, like, yeah, this is definitely, like, if you want a super harmonious aesthetic pairing, I mean, the Hanged Man, the Daffodil for Patience, and the Eight of Swords. I mean, there's definitely, like, they want to play together. They want to work together. So this is definitely a good pairing too. So bonus content towards the end here is combining the Flower Oracle from Broccoli Magazine with the Tarot of Mystical Moments. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, tell me what your favorite deck pairing is, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks so much.